Здравствуйте, друзья! Приветствую вас на своем канале. Мы продолжаем прохождение игры Kingdom Come Deliverance. Я не буду вас мучить комментариями, так что наслаждайтесь игрой. И прежде чем начнем, большая просьба подписаться на мой канал, поставить лайк данному видео. Ну что ж, начинаем.
Good day, Henry. Welcome, Henry.
Is it true, the execution?
My lord, I'm afraid you were right when you said these hostilities wouldn't end at Pribyslavitz.
That comes as no surprise.
What has happened?
The men reported 2 more attacks today.
Ah, Henry. I'm glad you're here. It seems like we'll have another task for you. Come and join us.
My lord,
Greetings, lad.
the bandits raided a few remote hamlets, but that's the least of our worries. They also attacked Mrhoedach, and that's a much more serious matter.
Mrhoedach. Matthias is working there.
They attacked right after the battle in Pribyslavitz. Bastards were probably trying to prove they're still strong. But there's a silver lining. The villagers held them off, and they even took 1 captive. He's wounded, but we can still interrogate him.
Your Graces, I hope I'm not intruding.
On the contrary, Master Tobias. Unlike Bernard, you are the bearer of good tidings. Or so I gather from the coin you carry. Tell me, how many groschen did we find in Pribyslavitz?
My lord, I'm sorry, but my news is no better than Captain Bernard's. These coins are very good. That is to say, well-made facsimiles, as we call them.
What? I don't give a fack what you call them. I want to know what they're facking worth.
That's just it, sir. They're worth nothing.
Are you saying what I think you're saying, Master Tobias? This here
Is just a pile of copper.
Kurva! Fuck!
Plated with silver, so it's still of some worth.
Kurva! Fuck!
Is it a lot of work to make such counterfeits, Master Tobias?
I should say so, sir. Highly demanding work. Especially to make such plausible forgeries. They would need a well-hidden foundry, several craftsmen, and a source of material.
But they could just be brought in from somewhere else, could they not?
Well, they could, but then again, the silver mines are nearby, and these groschens seem freshly minted, so...
So we are facing a foe who has almost limitless sources of coin. That's all we need.
Doppelter.
Well, gentlemen, it's clear what we have to do. Interrogate that captive bandit, find out their numbers, and promptly cut off their supply of money. Otherwise, they'll soon have another encampment.
If they haven't already.
But I doubt it, sir. Mrhoedach wouldn't have been able to hold them off if they did.
Well, lad, I said we'd have work for you, but it never crossed my mind there would be this much. You've already proved your worth as an investigator, so I'm putting my faith in you again. Go to Mrhoedach and question that captive. Find out where those brigands are hiding, how many there are, and what they're planning. And while you're at it, see if you can find some clues as to where this counterfeit coin is coming from.
Very well, sir.
Good luck. We're counting on you. All of us. Come report to me as soon as you know anything. I'll be at the lookout point near Talmberg.
What is it?
Good health to you.
I've got some goods here whose owners might miss them.
All right. Let's see what we can do about that.
I'd like to discuss the price.
Sure, why not? Aye, that would do it.
want to go in, talk to Melikar.
God be with you.
I need to talk to that captive.
Sorry, no one's allowed inside. Melikar's orders.
But I'm Sir Radzig Kobyla's envoy, and I urgently need to question the captive.
I don't care if you're the Pope's envoy. I can't let you in. If you want to talk to the captive, you have to get permission from Melikar.
Are you Melikar?
Aye, that's me.
I need to speak with the prisoner.
And why is that? Who might you be?
Henry, envoy of Sir Radzig Kobyla. I'm here to investigate the attack.
I'm sorry. I have other things on my mind right now. In case you hadn't noticed, we have pestilence raging here. And Sir Radzig won't help us with that, any more than he helped us when we were attacked.
No one could have known what would happen.
If Sir Radzig hadn't pissed off into the woods and stayed in the camp, they would never have dared attack us.
If Sir Radzig hadn't gone into the woods, he'd have left so many to attack here that you'd never have fought them off.
It makes no odds now. We've a different problem to deal with.
If there's anything I can do, just tell me.
There's a stable hand living with us here, Matthias.
Yes, I know him.
And he knows some girl who helps out in the monastery infirmary. Johanka, I think her name is. She might know someone to turn to, if she's actually there.
Very well. I'll go to the monastery. It's probably our best hope.
Thank you. At least for taking the trouble. But then, even if you cared nothing for us, the prisoner's got the pestilence too. He'll die without help.
If I have to go to the monastery, I need to know as much as possible about the disease. I'll definitely need to know its symptoms. They're bound to ask me that.
It's hard to say. My wife is feverish. Others have the chills. I heard some are throwing up. Others still are breaking out in sores. But why don't you see for yourself? People talk a lot and I don't know what to believe anymore.
Very well. I'll make the rounds.
I've daubed lime on the afflicted houses, but don't stay too long in those homes.
That I can promise you.
Grant him a place in thy kingdom. Grant him eternal... Who are you? Can't you see we have the plague cross on the door?
My name is Henry. I'm going to the monastery to get help.
It's long past time. The Lord's already taken my poor Anthony. And what do you want from me?
I need to know how the illness afflicted your husband.
Yes, I'll tell you everything. But first help me bury my husband. I'm too weak. And Melichar said the dead should be buried at once.
Tell me first. I need to go around other infected houses too. But then I'll be back and I'll help you.
Thank you. But please do come back. I can't do it alone. My husband had the fever all over.
Anything else?
He had great pains in his belly. He said it felt like it'd been stuffed with rocks. He was writhing all night through. It must have hurt terribly.
Thank you.
Why has this happened? Why?
What? Have you come for my wife? You're out of luck. I'm old Straw, don't you know? Straw! You've taken my son. But you shan't take my wife. You bastard.
I've come to help your wife.
To help her over to the other side. Isn't that God's own truth?
I'm sorry that they killed your son. I truly am sorry. But if you don't want that disease to take your wife, you'll let me see her right away. I can help her.
I don't want her taken, no.
There. You see?
What? Are you a quack?
Something like that.
Then go to it. Go!
Fever. Just like Melchar's wife. Fever. Just like Melchar's wife.
Jesus, lad, what are you doing here? Can't you see the plague cross on the door?
I'm here because of it. The monastery sent me to help.
God bless you, boy. It's about time.
I need to know exactly what you're suffering from.
Oh, I see. Well, I have a dreadful fever. My wife, too. I recall almost nothing of yesterday. I was raving for most of it.
Is there anything else? Apart from the fever?
Well, forgive me for saying so. The shit just pours out of me. I can't keep anything in. I'm completely worn out. My wife's the same.
You have my thanks. I'll try to bring help.
Wait a minute, will you? I have one favor to ask.
So tell me.
I need to write my will. Can you write?
Sorry, I can't write.
Well, If you say so. Hurry. May God help us. Otherwise we're doomed.
You're not allowed inside. My respects to you.
What's happened here?
Things are bad. Very bad. First we get attacked by them brigands, barely come out of that alive. And now, the plague.
Plague, you say?
Indeed so. Something's up with the village. Even the livestock are dying. It's a gruesome sight.
I heard the bandits didn't get very far here, though.
Luckily, young Straw saw them still over by the cross and woke the whole village. We even captured one. He's tied up now at Melikar's place. But then, the disease came.
Who attacked you?
I don't know. Some bandits. Ever since Skullets was raised, they've been marauding the whole province.
Did you put up a fight?
We most certainly did. Once Melikar heard young Straw shouting to the hills, he handed everyone a pitchfork or a flail, and we ambushed the bastards.
Good on you. How did it turn out?
We gave them what for until they turned tail and ran. But they cut up young Straw something awful. He didn't live to see morning.
Who are Melikar and Straw?
That's right, you're not from around here, are you? Melikar's the one looking after things round here now. Before that, it was down to Smill from the Neuhoff stud. But they killed him that time they raided the place. And young Straw is the son of Andrew, a local woodcutter. Or was, I should say. The bandits saw to that. His old man isn't taking it well.
Where will I find Melikar?
If you stand at the main gate of the stables and look across the road, Melikar's is the house on the left.
I'd like to talk to Straw.
I see. Well, if you stand at the main gate of the stables and look across the road, you'll see Straw's house on the right.
Tell me more about this plague. It sounds terrible.
Worse than you can imagine. The whole stud, livestock, sheep, chickens, all dead or dying. No doubt the people will be next. Melikar's old woman's taken to her bed, and it doesn't look good. Straw's wife and brother. More and more.
I'm sorry to hear it. I'm looking for Matthias. He works as a stable hand at the stud farm.
Matthias. The brigands got him, poor lad. He's lying wounded at the stud.
Thanks. That'll be all for now.
Hal? You're a sight for sore eyes. What are you doing here?
It's good to see you too, Matthias. Sir Radzig sent me here to investigate the raid.
Sir Radzig? Looks like you've come up in the world, mate. You're here as his envoy?
Yeah, something like that. But that's not important right now.
Well, I'm glad to see you have a job. Lots of our old neighbors have been reduced to begging. If I were in your shoes, I'd get the hell out of here. There's some disease spreading.
Disease?
Folk are saying it's the plague. Whatever it is, it's bad. It started the day after the raid. First the horses got sick, then other animals, and now people are falling ill too.
Damn! Are you alright?
Well, at least I haven't caught the sickness.
But you've been hurt.
It happened during the raid. One of those damn bandits fell on me, horse and all. My arm's badly broken, but better than a broken neck.
Tell me about the raid.
What do you want to know?
I hear one of the raiders was taken captive. I'd like to question him.
Aye, old Melechar let him have it over the head with a flail, and now he's locked up in the barn. But be careful.
Why's that?
That fucker killed young Straw, and his old man's sharpening his sickle for him. Melechar still hasn't decided what to do with him.
I can tell you what he'll do with him. He'll hand him over to Sir Radzig's envoy. Me.
I doubt Melechar will let him go willingly. The folk here are baying for blood. Lives have been lost. First the raid, and now this plague. God knows what they'll do.
Can you describe the raiders?
I don't know. They came at dusk, so you couldn't see their faces. About 20 of them. They weren't humans, though. They spoke Czech.
You talked to them?
No. They were shouting at us. They were very sure of themselves to begin with, but when we hit them in the woods, they didn't look so brave.
I hear one of the raiders was taken...
Aye, old Melechar let him have it over the head with a flail.
Why's that?
That fucker killed young Straw, and his old man's sharp...
I understand, old...
Good luck, then.
I know you've got courage enough for any man, but how did a bunch of untrained villagers manage to hold off armed bandits?
One of the village lads caught sight of them coming through the woods and told Melechar, who roused the whole village, and everyone grabbed what they could. Pitchforks, axes, flails, and we went out to face them.
What? You mounted an assault against them?
Aye, and that was the key. It was the last thing those whoresons expected. A few of them still managed to break through to the village, probably wanted to torch it. But even the women here were armed with what they could find, and they took the bastards by surprise.
About this sickness. When did this plague start?
The day after the raid. The horses were lying down in the stable, so we knew something was up. By afternoon, they were all dead. Then other animals started getting sick, one after the other, and then people.
What are the signs that someone's getting sick?
I don't leave the house much, but folk complain of fever and shakes. Some are throwing their guts up, and others are spewing from the other end.
Has anyone died from it?
Aye, old Verba. Although he was already on his last legs, so no one knows for sure if it was the plague that got him. Either way, the animals are dropping like flies, and people will end up the same for sure.
Who's ill now?
I don't know. What with my arm the way it is, I don't go outdoors much. But I know Melechar and Straw have sick ones at home.
Can I ask you a bit about Mrhoedach?
I haven't been here long enough to learn much, but ask away.
Can you tell me something about Old Straw?
He's a woodcutter, tough as they come, and a hothead. He's been out of his mind since his boy died.
That's normal to grieve, though.
Depends how you look at it. Folk are afraid he'll snap or drink himself to death. What's worse, his wife caught the sickness, and he's not taking care of her.
Where can I find this Straw?
When you take the main gate out of the stables, you'll see 2 cottages outside. Straw lives in the right-hand one.
What's Melechar like?
The locals look up to him. Smill used to be in charge here, but he was killed in Neuhof.
I know.
Sir Hanush hasn't had time to appoint a new vassal, and folk need someone to speak for them, so they picked Melechar.
Thank God you had someone here who could take the reins.
Aye.
What's Melikar like?
The locals look up to him. Smill used to be in charge here, but he was killed in Neuhof.
I know.
Sir Hanush hasn't had time to appoint a new vassal, and folk need someone to speak for them, so they picked Melikar.
Since when do subjects govern a village in place of the lord?
What can we do? If it weren't for Melikar, those bandits would have torched the place to the ground. The villagers won't follow anyone else.
Brother, dearest brother, is that you?
Yes, it's me, your, brother.
Everyone is nearly here. We need to get to Skalitz for the fair.
Tell me, brother, how are you feeling?
Wait, you're not my brother? You're one of those brutes. Brother, lock the door. They're back again. Please, God, no.
Brother, don't you recognize me? It's me. I'm your brother. I was gone for a long time. I've come back home for Advent, remember?
Yes, yes, I remember. Give me a drink of water, brother. Ah, I'm thirsty, terribly thirsty. I feel like I'm burning in hell. I can drink a pitcher of water and right away I'm parched again.
And who are you?
Brother Elias.
What do you do here?
What I can. I'm just trying to help the Skalitz locals as much as I can.
How long have you been helping here?
Since before the refugees arrived. It was much less crowded back then.
And what do you do here exactly?
Mainly, I help Brother Nicodemus. Occasionally, I keep watch at night in case someone takes a turn for the worse. Sometimes I have to hold a patient down, or fetch and carry things.
And it's another story. They're happy to fill their bellies while people starve outside their walls. They can all go to the devil.
Do you know anything about healing?
A little. I can manage the basics, but without Brother Nicodemus, I'd never be able to deal with the more difficult cases.
Thank you.
Just my luck to get stuck here with all the cripples. Meanwhile, Thomas and Pavel are probably playing dice up on the battlements.
I'd like to learn something from you.
And what can you do?
A bit of everything.
Can you now? But to be more precise, do you understand herbs and medicinal plants?
To be honest, not really.
So what am I supposed to do with you? Well, never mind. At least you'll learn something new. Go to the herb garden, take a good look at what's growing there, and then pull up the weeds in the herbaceous beds. Is that clear?
Clear. I can get cracking.
Not so fast. Have I even told you what I consider a weed? It's dandelions, stinging nettles, and thistles. Those plants have their use, but they've no business growing among the euphrasia and the mentha, or anywhere else in that garden for that matter.
How can I tell them apart?
You see, this is the part where you learn something. Look in the herbarium to find out what a dandelion, stinging nettle, and thistle look like.
I see.
Once you've cleared the garden of weeds, come back. And woe betide you if you pull up anything but weeds.
Don't worry, you've never had as good a gardener. Would you teach me more about alchemy?
Certainly.
I'd like to practice the basics.
All right, but it'll cost you. Now, pay close attention.
Jesus, huh?
It's done.
Did you weed the beds and leave what should be growing there alone?
I may have picked a couple of the other plants by mistake.
If it's only a couple, there's no harm done. I'm going to check with my own eyes.
Johanka?
Henry?
I'm glad to see you.
Me too. I heard that you're doing well.
Not right now. Matthias sent me.
Matthias? My god, did something happen?
I don't know if you've heard about it, but Mrhoedach was attacked.
Oh god. How is Matthias?
Wounded in the arm. He's being brave about it, but his injury looks bad.
I need to see him.
Before you go, there's something else.
What?
Some kind of disease has taken hold in Mrhoedach. Their livestock has died off, and now the people are coming down with it too. I thought maybe someone here might know what to do.
Merciful heavens. How awful. It's a good thing you've come here. If there's any hope, this is the place to find it. You need Brother Nicodemus, the monastery physician. He may know how to deal with it.
Very well, I'll try to find him.
Come back when you know more.
Thank you, Johanka. What's happening here? Oh my god. Philip and... they're all...
Yes? Where do you think the wounded ended up?
Actually, I had no idea.
Well, now you know. Me and Nicodemus have been trying to keep things under control since Skalitz was raised. Just the two of us.
So can I help at all?
Certainly. We can always use an extra pair of hands here. And it's been like that since the beginning.
I was in a bad way myself back then. They took me to Ratai unconscious, and I needed a healer. How is everyone holding up? What can I do?
Holding up? People here are dying, usually needlessly, and I can't do anything about it. We don't have enough food or space or anyone who's willing to help us.
Doesn't anyone help you with nursing these people? You've got scholars all around you.
Scholars, maybe, but they leave the healing up to God. Nicodemus is trying, but everything he knows is from his books.
Can I have a look at them myself? I know a little about healing.
Do you now? And what would you do if you burnt yourself at the forge?
First, you have to cool it down with water. Marigold ointment helps, and it's better if you don't bind it and let it breathe.
You do know what you're talking about. Looks like blacksmiths know about more than just pulling teeth.
Pulling teeth? Nothing to it. As long as you don't squeeze the pincers too hard and crush them.
Well, go and see if anyone needs anything. Just don't go pulling anyone's teeth.
Doesn't the monastery care for them?
They give us some food for them and a place to sleep, but I wouldn't say they help exactly. More like they just tolerate us.
Do you have enough food?
Enough to survive, maybe, but convalescents need feeding up.
Maybe if I brought some meat, some game, that would strengthen them up.
That would be a great help.
Anything else you need?
Look around.
Well, it is a little crowded.
Crowded? I've had to leave some of the sick lying in the open air, even at night. And have you seen what they're lying on?
I'll try to negotiate better conditions with the monastery.
I tried that, out loud. They just nod their heads, but don't move a muscle.
Very well. And how are you doing? You're the only woman here, alone in the monastery.
Some of the monks speak to me, but other people act like I don't exist. Too bad the custodian isn't one of those.
Is the custodian causing you problems?
All the time. Apparently he has a wife somewhere, but that doesn't stop him. He's constantly strutting around in front of me.
And, what else?
What do you mean, what else? He's invited me to his home.
I could do something about it, if you liked.
No, I can deal with him. The last thing I need is you going around threatening people. It won't help me, and it definitely won't help the refugees.
Why is there a guard outside?
He's here because of me.
Because of you?
Yes. There was one time I just had enough of it all, of the way they treat us, and I almost slapped one of... But that doesn't matter.
What can you tell me about the custodian?
He's supposed to be in charge of all the guards and the security of the monastery. But really, he has a say in pretty much everything, including supplies. And that's why he probably thinks he can do whatever he wants.
All right, that's all I need to know.
Look, Henry, I know I can speak harshly, but I'm at the end of my tether. Last week Bohuslav died. Maybe you knew him. And nobody even blinked an eye. We desperately need help.
I'll do whatever's in my power. You're the one who's in charge of the wounded?
Yes, I'm the infirmarius here. Time was I only had a few elderly monks who couldn't walk to take care of. Now I have this mess to deal with.
Monks so old they can't hold themselves up with their own legs.
Oh, if that were the only bodily function they could control. But I shouldn't talk like that. It's a blessing to live to such an age.
How are the wounded from Skalitz?
Some of them are well taken care of. But others are dying here needlessly. It's a good thing we have Johanka here. I'd never be able to manage on my own.
So you don't normally treat the wounded then?
Well, there were accidents, of course. A broken leg, someone who'd been kicked by a cow or bitten by a goat. But this... I've never dealt with the carnage of battle before.
If only it had been a battle. This was cold-blooded slaughter.
You were there? God be merciful to you and the dead and the wounded.
How can I help you?
Have you talked to Johanka?
I did.
Well, if you know something about it, then go and take a look. However, you don't look like you've studied the Hippocratic arts.
That's true. I'm the son of a blacksmith, but I have been around the wounded before. What do I do if I'm not sure of the treatment?
Come and speak to me. We'll see what we can do.
What do you think about the custodian?
Baron von Berg? Well, he does his job well. He keeps us safe here. And the last time I saw him was when I was rubbing ointment on his rash.
I heard he's been here a lot lately.
That's true. He comes to visit Johanka, but he's never here long and he always leaves unsatisfied.
Thank you. Some kind of disease has taken hold in Mrhoedach. Johanka said that you might be able to advise.
A disease, you say? How intriguing.
Intriguing? It's terrifying.
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to sound uncaring.
All right. The important thing is whether you can help us.
I can't say at this point. I need to find out a little more. Tell me, has the whole village come down with it?
No, I mean, not yet. Several households have, around half the village.
Mrhoedach? Isn't there a stud farm there? And what of the animals? Did they get infected too?
Yes, there's a stud farm. And they've all died off. The horses, the cattle, chickens, and now it's got to the people.
That is most intriguing. Sorry, I mean to say it's most unusual. Do you know the symptoms?
Yes, more or less.
Excellent. I have several extensive volumes here in the library. Describe the epidemic, including the symptoms, and we could take some guidance there. Can you read?
No, I can't.
Never mind. But do tell me what they're suffering from, and I'll read up on it myself.
One victim complained of having dreadful runs.
Most unpleasant. What next?
One complained of agonizing bellyache.
So it could be of digestive origin. Anything else?
A thirst. They suffer from an insatiable thirst.
That may be down to the feverishness. What next?
They all have a fever. Some are raving, even.
That's to be expected. What else?
A rash on the legs and arms.
How peculiar. Next?
That's it.
Right. Stay until tomorrow. Perhaps I can come up with something.
Until tomorrow? That's an awfully long time.
Well, the old master's volumes are bulky.
Would you teach me more about alchemy?
Certainly.
I'm interested in more advanced techniques.
Wouldn't you rather learn the basics first?
I'm interested in more advanced techniques.
Wouldn't you rather learn the basics first?
Well, I'll think it over. Were you satisfied with my reading?
You said it was finished, but I took a look at it. Is that what you call a finished job? Off you go. I'd better do it myself.
Why are they so badly provided for? People are crammed in next to each other, and some have to sleep outside. That can't be good for them. It gets freezing here at night.
I can't afford anything more for them.
How is that possible? You're the infirmarius. You decide how all the money gets spent.
But I have no say in how much money I'm given. And because the abbot's away, it's still the same amount I had when I was taking care of a few old men.
And the local custodian? His crew has enough provisions.
I tried him, but it seems he had some disagreement with Johanka, and now he won't give us anything.
I'll try to talk to him. Can't you do anything? Won't the others help?
Unfortunately not. The brothers in the cloister aren't much interested in the external world, and the custodian has enough on his plate with the chaos in the region. Besides, his main concern is the smooth running of the monastery.
Can't believe your conscience lets you leave the Skalitz locals in such a state.
I know. I'm ashamed. But my brothers believe it's all in God's hands now.
Even so, conditions here seem to me quite unchristian.
You're not the only one.
Hey, watch it! Huh. Folk these days.
Good health to you.
I'm helping at the infirmary now, and I came to our...
Ah, and how is Johanka? Do you know her well?
Yes, I do.
Good, good. Does she ever talk about me?
I'm mainly here for supplies and to talk about the state of the wounded from Skalitz. They need blankets, food...
Well, that's not my problem. Let the infirmarius take care of it.
His hands are tied. Until the abbot comes back, he can't get anything.
And why should that interest me?
Maybe because of Johanka.
What precisely are you getting at?
Something could happen to her too, someday.
If any ill befalls my dear Johanka, she won't be left lying on some grubby floor. I'll personally see to it she's taken care of.
Because I'll pay you.
For supplies? But of course. That will be...
Oh, come off it. You get your supplies from the monastery for free. No one will bat an eyelid if you ask for more. Blankets can get chewed up by mice. Food can go off. What about this?
I'd almost shake on that. Almost. Yes, these things happen, certainly. And as long as the monastery needs my protection, they'll have to put up with it.
What the hell?
save you, Henry.
And get a move on, because you stink like a beggar's armpit.
Master Bailiff, is there anything of interest going on here?
I should say so. The bishop's vicar came to Ujits, and not even Sir Hanush knows what he's after in these parts. Something must be up, but I couldn't tell you more than that.
You look like you've got a lot on your plate, Master Bailiff. Is work keeping you busy?
Busy? I've had so many visitors, I wouldn't wonder if the door fell off its hinges.
What's going on?
I've been given the task of putting some of the Scarlet's refugees to work. It's not that there's a shortage of jobs, the problem's sharing them out fairly.
I understand. Everyone has mouths to feed.
The worst part is they won't tell you who really needs a job the most, but you might be able to help, Henry.
How?
They're like to be more honest with you, so you can find out who's in the most need. And you can decide for yourself who'll do what. Will you help?
If you need help, I'll do whatever I can.
You're a godsend. I'm sure it won't take too long. You know how the refugees are getting on, don't you? But ask around if you need to find out more.
What kind of work are we talking about?
Well, old Hagen is looking for a cook, and we need 5 carriers.
A cook and 5 water carriers. That sounds simple enough. Is there a problem?
A little. We need 3 water carriers, but the other 2 will have to carry, begging your pardon, shit. Or as the Pope would say, excrement.
Is there anyone who can tell me more about it?
Yes, the merchant Conrad Hagen is the one looking for a cook, so you can talk to him. And young Alex will know which of the Scarlet's folk are best suited to the job.
How come that's such a cause for concern?
For one thing, they're afraid of me, and I can't get a straight answer out of any of them. So how the hell am I supposed to make the right choice?
Oh, they're desperate. You can't blame them.
I don't, but I might end up picking some good-for-nothing who'll just booze his wages away.
Can you tell me anything more about the cook?
You'll have to ask Hagen yourself. I couldn't get a straightforward answer out of him. Maybe he's changed his mind.
What do I need to know about the water carriers?
We need 3. Right now, some of the burgers' hands are doing the job.
And they need to go all the way down to the river for water?
Of course, where else would they get it? Gallows Hill? It's not an easy job, but someone has to do it.
What can you tell me about the other carriers?
It's dirty, but it's a job that needs to be done. There'll be more than enough work for them. Some places are overflowing.
Sounds disgusting. Why would anyone want the job?
If all else fails, I'll pay 2 groschen for every 1 I pay the water carriers. That might convince someone.
That's all I need to know.
Good luck, then.
Good health to you.
The bailiff sent me. He said you're looking for a cook.
That's right. I'm searching for a good cook, but I've said all that to our esteemed bailiff.
Well, I offered the bailiff my help because I know the Skalitz folk.
Ah, I see. Well, ask away then.
Do you have any particular requirements for the new cook?
Well, it would be an advantage if she knew how to cook.
Well, yes, but the bailiff said you had other conditions.
Well, I want a woman who's capable of looking after the house when I'm away on business.
Young? Nimble?
What for? I want her to impress people with her food, not her face.
I understand. Sorry. I also heard there are vacant carrier jobs.
Yes, yes. I'm surprised it hasn't occurred to anyone sooner. It will certainly benefit the city if the burghers don't have to send their own servants.
It will benefit my people as well.
Of course, of course. It goes without saying.
I also heard that you need workers to carry, to empty latrines.
It's not dignified to talk of such manners. That's not a concern for decent people.
But I need to know...
Enough. I won't have such talk in my home.
God be with you.
I'd like to ask about our former neighbours. There are jobs here for some of them, and I have to pick people.
The bailiff told me about it. He still wants our people to do the knacker's job?
But what of it? It will benefit everyone.
Not everyone. There's not enough work for everyone, and no one wants to do the knacker's job.
But having a job could save someone's life.
Water carrying, maybe. But if they have to do a job that's not fit for a decent person, only for the knacker or the executioner's servant?
So you think there's no point in it? That it's better to beg than have a job, even if it is hauling shit?
You forget that that's a job for the knacker's hired hand, not for displaced people. When we return to Skalitz, they'll never be able to rid themselves of the stink.
So, do you know who's most in need of some coin and is fit for hard work?
Everyone's in need of coin, but not everyone is fit for such work.
Who should I talk to then? Where will I find them?
I'll talk to them myself and send them to meet you in front of the Rathaus, so they'll all be in one place. It'll take me a while, though.
I'm also looking for a cook. Do you know of a good cook who's looking for work?
Well, there's Agnes. I've heard she can cook better than anyone. Only...
Well, what's the problem? Did something happen to her?
No, it's just that I haven't seen her around here for ages. I believe she's cooking for the local parish priest and living at the presbytery. So I don't think she's in need of work.
Thanks. I'll go. Are you Agnes, who works at St. James?
I am. Or I did, before those devils rolled in and burnt down Skalitz. Why do you ask?
I'm looking for a good cook and housekeeper, and everyone I asked sent me to you.
Oh, I've been blessed by God.
So it seems. Anyway, the local merchant wants someone who can cook food fit for nobility and take care of his household.
Well, Father Francis was very fond of good food, but I can't just go serve someone else.
Merchant Hagen isn't just anybody.
I've heard of him, that he's a good Catholic.
Really? Well, yeah, sure he is.
Truly. People still talk about the lovely service he arranged for his wife's funeral.
So you wouldn't mind being his housekeeper?
Well, I don't know. What will Father Francis do?
Father Francis no longer needs a housekeeper.
What? Don't tell me he's found a new one.
Well, I probably shouldn't tell you. I'm afraid that's just how it is.
But that's not like him. Somebody must have been putting ideas into his head. I'll have to go back and talk to him.
But he's not at St. James's.
No? Then where is he? And why does he have a new housekeeper there?
They're sending him away, somewhere to South Bohemia. I was told they've arranged all the help he needs there already.
But what will I do?
You didn't want to drag you away somewhere else, since you've been here your whole life.
That's true, but what will he do without me? Who will take care of him?
I'm sure he'll be well taken care of. What about you? You could have a good life as Hagen's housekeeper.
Very well. I'll go and work for him then.
God bless.
What was that?
Have pity on me, a poor wretch.
Of course, Harlington, I lost everything I had.
Merciful. What am I to do? A poor wretch whose home was burned to ashes by Sigismund Paul. Huh?
What do you want?
I want to work. And I heard you're the one in charge of giving out jobs, not the bailiff.
It's true. Do you know how to cook? If you know how to make food for nobles, then I might have something for you.
Where would I learn to cook food for nobles? I want to carry water.
But Alex has already picked people who want to carry water.
He didn't ask me, though. So I came here myself.
Be that as it may, I already have the people I need to carry water. And anyway, it's no job for a woman.
I'm strong enough to knock you on your arse, you hot.
God be with you.
You're one of the people interested in work?
Well, Alex told me that I'm supposed to ask about a job carrying water.
That's right. But first, I'll ask you a few questions. You are...
Peter. But everyone calls me Rock. There was more than enough Peters in the mines. And not just in the mines. So...
How badly do you want to carry water?
Well, right now there doesn't seem to be much work around for miners. And at least I can earn a few groschen.
It's not easy work, though. It's a long way to carry water.
Do you think it was easier in the mines? Digging through rock on your knees all day for months on end?
What would you give if I put in a good word for you?
Good word?
Sure. If I put in a good word for somebody to the bailiff, then that someone has a better chance.
But I haven't got a pot to piss in. I lost everything, and I'm in debt too. But I might know about an opportunity.
Oh? What kind of opportunity?
I heard about it at the mine, before Skalitz was raised.
So, what did you hear?
They found something they wanted kept a secret. There weren't any rumours about a silver scene, but what else could it be?
The punishment for stealing the king's silver is hanging or burning at the stake.
I know, but you can't be burned for stealing silver nobody knows about.
The bailiff said he couldn't get a word out of you.
Well, he's not the most popular man around here, after everything that's happened. You can't blame us.
Maybe, but if you lot had just talked to him, I wouldn't have to run around dealing with this, and you'd all have a few groschen by now.
You might be right, but there's no point crying over spilled milk.
That's enough for now.
Good day to you.
You hear about the water carrying?
Aye. I can haul water all day long.
So, do you want the job? There's plenty of other folk that will take it if you don't.
I do. I want it. What do I have to do?
Besides water, you could carry... you could empty latrines.
What? Carry shit? That'd be a new one for me. No, it's not a thing I'd go around boasting about.
What happened with the bailiff? He couldn't get a word out of anybody.
That peacock what was strutting up and down and shouting at everyone? He told me he'd no time to listen to a buffoon like me. So I shut my mouth.
That's enough for now.
So, we're agreed then? When do I start working?
Look, the bailiff is the one who'll decide after I report back to him.
So, I might not get the job? I'll be in the shit if I don't. Understand?
Do you want something?
I'd like to ask a favor of you, Hal.
Of course. What is it?
I heard you're picking people to carry water. No one needs the job more than Antonia.
Adam never mentioned any Antonia.
I'm not surprised. But Antonia really needs that job.
Do you think she'll be able to handle carrying those buckets? It's quite far, and up that hill.
She's no princess. She's tough enough.
All right. I'll bear it in mind.
Bear it in mind? What does that mean?
It means I'll think about it. The bailiff has the last word.
Well, if he's got something against giving the job to a woman, then try and get Vincent in at least. He might not have anyone on their deathbed, but his mother has no one else. Lord Almighty.
My respects to you, sir.
You're here about the water carrying?
How? Where do I get some pails?
Hold your horses. We haven't decided yet who gets the job. I have to ask you a few things first.
What for? I can handle the job. But ask away.
Well, there's also the option of carrying, shit.
Not a chance. I'm not carrying any shit around. And if anyone tries to make me, I'll break his legs.
And what if I told you that you get double the pay?
Didn't I mention something about breaking legs?
You did? But more money?
I wouldn't be under the winch anymore. More like under the stench.
Are you here because you want to carry water?
Well, I'd rather be back of the winch. Turning it so fast I'd make everyone's head spin. But now I want to carry water at least, since there's some money in it.
I know everything I need.
So, can I go carry water then?
Not yet. I'll tell the bailiff and he'll choose.
Well, I hope he chooses me. Otherwise, I might be very angry.
I'll bear that in mind.
I lived like you did till Skalitz was burnt to ashes.
Good day to you.
Are you here on account of the water carrying?
Yes, I am. My name is Vincent.
Nice to meet you. I'll ask a few questions and we'll see, all right?
Fine. Ask away.
So you're probably here about carrying water, right?
Aye. I want to carry water.
That's all? You've nothing more to add?
That's what's needed, ain't it?
I'm from Skalitz, and I lost everything I had.
What happened with bailiff? He couldn't get a word out of anybody.
I don't know. I didn't talk to him at all.
What did you do before this?
I work for my father.
Doing what? Who's your father, anyway?
He was Moimir. We had a farm near Skalitz.
Really? His farmhands came to the tavern a lot, but I never saw you there.
I don't go to taverns.
That's enough for now.
My respects to you.
You're interested in carrying water?
I am. It's about time something good came to decent folk.
I agree. Now, I'll ask you a few questions.
What? But I want the work. I deserve it. Keep your questions for good-for-nothings.
There's also the option of, emptying latrines.
Are you trying to insult me? That's no job for a decent Christian.
True. That's why it pays double.
Double, hey? Oh, that's not bad, but, for a man of my stature, no doubt there are more needy souls. Double.
What would you give me if I put in a good word for you?
So that's how it is it? An honest person can't get a job, only one who stoops to bribing?
Come now. I just want to help, but I'll have my job cut out persuading the bailiff to take you.
All right. I don't have anything, but I know the armourer in Sasau, and he'll give you a good price if I have a word with him.
Cheap armour might come in handy, all right? Done?
Done. As soon as I get the job, come and see me, and I'll tell you all about it.
That's enough for now.
Hey, halt right there. Show me what you have on you. Hey.
And get a move on, because you stink like a beggar's armpit.
I know everything I need to know to pick the carriers.
Splendid. I'll be glad to get this damn business off my back. So how have you decided?
So, how do we do this? Do I just give you their names, or should I send for them?
Just tell me their names and whether they should carry water or something else. Don't worry, I'll send for them.
Antonia.
What? A woman?
Yeah, is that a problem? You never said it had to be only men.
I didn't, but I kind of assumed it would be clear. It's a long walk with a heavy load, man's work.
She can handle the job, have no fear.
Let's hope so. You'll have to answer to me if she can't. Where do we put her, then?
To carry water.
So we have one person to carry water. Who's next?
Vincent, Moimir's son.
Vincent? Never heard of him. What do you think he should do?
Carrying shit.
Good. One person for this job. Next?
Vasil goes by the moniker of Pickman.
Pickman. I hope he doesn't have a history of pickpocketing.
No. They call him Pickman because he worked in the silver mines, and he was very keen with the pick. So much so, he managed to chop off 2 of his fingers.
Well, he can't do too much damage with a bucket, I suppose. Where do you want to put him?
To carry water.
So we have one person to carry water. Who's next?
Cornelius.
Ah, Cornelius. I had him here once looking for a job. Where do you want to put him? I'd like to see him with buckets of shit.
Carrying shit.
Good. One person for this job. Next.
Tonda. They call him the winch.
The winch. Ought to be good with a bucket anyway. What's he going to do?
To carry water.
So we have one person to carry water. Who's next?
That's it.
Good. All decided. Now about the cook's job.
I chose a cook as well. Should I tell you or go to Hagen?
Tell me who you chose and I'll take care of it.
I chose old Agnes for the cook's job. I had a job convincing her, but it was worth it. She's the best cook around.
Glad to hear it. I'll have to drop in on Hagen for lunch sometime.
Master Bailiff, is there anything of interest going on here?
Don't even talk to me.
What part didn't you understand?
What's going on?
Such are my orders.
That's all well and good, but don't bother me with it. Stand aside before I lose my temper.
If you're here to peddle fairy tales, I'm not interested.
Ugh, come on then.
That didn't hurt a bit now, did it? Carry on.
Though you better be off going for a good scrub. You stink like a badger.
I'd like to learn to read.
You? You don't look like the makings of a priest or clerk. But why not? I've taught all sorts. Bear in mind, it won't be all that easy. You'll need plenty of time and a few groschen for my trouble.
All right. I don't want to waste time. We can get started. The sooner I master it, the better.
Very well. I will require some groschen from you, though, and set aside at least a couple of days so I can put you through your paces, if indeed time is of the essence.
Here are your groschen.
Then we may as well start. He did break his vow, but better than to dishonor it here. May he follow his heart. Wake up, lad. It's time we were getting on. So, let's see you read a bit. There's a book here on the table. Try to read it.
Will I manage?
You ought to be able to. It's a simple text. Come back once you've worked your way through it.
I've read the book.
Wonderful. So tell me, what have you learned?
Maybe I'd better read it again.
No need to rush. It's always hard at first.
I could do with a bite to eat. I've read the book.
Wonderful. So tell me, what have you learned?
There was something about some fellow and a goose.
Ah, well, the main thing is you've managed to read the book. The rest is just practice. Only through a careful reading will you uncover the real meaning of the text. No book is written on a mere whim and without purpose. Like I told you, books are valuable, and the words that you place in them ought to be no less so.
Does that mean that I can read then?
Yes, you have the foundation. Remember, my boy, the pen is mightier than the sword. To fully learn your way around words will take a lot more reading yet. Now we'll move on to the second lesson, which will be much harder. Many books are written in Latin, the language of erudite and religious men. If you really want to be able to read, there's no getting away from Latin. There's a book on the table with some text. Read it and then come back. You need not understand it, but you should master the letters.
I only just managed the fable about the goose, and now you're asking me to tackle Latin.
You're a clever lad. You'll manage.
What the hell?
I could do with a bite to eat.
Be a bit more careful.
I read the page.
So tell me, Distupule, what's written there?
Dullest liver tam malus at non liquor party profit.
Not bad, my boy. Good effort. You're almost there, but you better go back and read it again.
What? What the hell are you doing?
I read the page.
So tell me, Distupule, what's written there?
Nullus est liber tam malus ut non lique parte prosit.
Good heavens! Don't tell me you haven't had lessons before. Excellent. Well, there's nothing more I can teach you. Congratulations. You can go and be ordained right away.
Thank you, Domine. I'm feeling a lot wiser.
God be with you.
I'm looking for the local groom.
Well, you found him. What can I do for you?
The Lady Stephanie of Talmberg sent me. She said you have a roan ready for her.
Well, Chamberlain Dietrich said someone would come. We have him here, but if he's ready, I can't say. That miserable horse will let you saddle him and walk him around the courtyard, but as soon as someone sits on him, he goes completely wild.
That horse is supposed to be presented at a noble woman's wedding. It probably won't be appropriate if he makes a spectacle of his rider. Is there anything I can do?
Try asking Vasha. For some reason, that devil horse listens to him. Then take the horse with you. Dietrich's arranged everything.
I hope I can be of help to you, Knight.
How's the head?
So even strangers know my shame. Come on, then. Come and take a closer look at Vashek the Blockhead.
I'm not here to mock.
So what is it you want?
I promised the head groom that I'd look for pie.
Well, good luck with that. I've been searching half the day, although I have been seeing double ever since that bang on the head, so it's possible I missed something.
Can you describe pie for me?
Long face, 4 legs.
Well, that should narrow it down. Does he have any distinguishing features? Like a colour, for instance?
Sorry, he's a dappled grey, a stallion, and he's really fast. Though that won't help you much.
Quite the opposite. Where did you fall off, Pie?
Just south of here. Between the fields and the woods, there's a crossroads where 4 paths meet. It was around there.
4 paths. So we could have gone anywhere.
Now you see my problem.
When was that?
In the morning. Then I staggered about for a while, feeling as rough as a boar's ass. I was glad to stagger back here in the end.
Fine. I'll go and look for him.
Thanks. If you find him, the groom might go easier on me. Oh, and one more thing.
Well?
Pies used to take in the bridal ways, so I'd keep to those.
That's useful. Thanks. I feel quite hungry. I heard you have a way with the horse that unsaddles everyone else.
Yes. I suppose I do.
And how do you do it? How do you calm him down?
I'm good to him.
Well, I want to treat the horse well too. But I don't know how, because I don't know him as well as you do. Will you help me?
I sing to him.
You sing to him? What?
2 horses come roaming in the merry month of May, to graze in the shade of the apple tree there. The first one is brown, and the second is grey. Which shall I ride to my maiden so fair?
That's, interesting.
I know how it looks, but he likes it.
Thank you, Vashek. So, how's it looking with this cure?
It gave me no rest all night, but I think I have it. I'm afraid it's the plague, lad. But with the help of God, we may stop it yet. We shall have to prepare some medicine at once.
I could help with that.
Really?
Yes. I know my way around the alchemistic arts.
An ordinary fellow who knows the arts of physic? Who would have thought it? Excellent. I'll give you the recipe, and you have my permission to make use of the monastery laboratory.
I'll get started right away.
I, meanwhile, shall head straight to, where was it again?
Mrhoedah.
Oh yes, Mrhoedach. I'll take your Hanker with me. She has no equal in caring for the sick. Once you have the medication ready, hurry after me.
Thank you, Brother Nicodemus. There's one man there who needs your care more urgently than anyone. He's an important witness in the investigation of some murders.
Out of the question. I shall spend time with the sick in order of their medical needs, not your worldly needs.
Would you teach me more about alchemy?
Are you pulling my pizzle? You want me to teach you after what you did here?
Damn!
He just needs to sleep.
Hey, you! It's forbidden to walk at night here without a light.
So, here I am. How are things looking?
It doesn't look good at all, my boy. Do you have the potion?
Yes, here it is.
I'll take 4 doses, you take the rest, and let's split up. I'll see to the straw family, while you deal with Melikar's wife and the rest. They wouldn't let me go near that prisoner. They want him to suffer. Despite his terrible crimes, to treat a fellow mortal soul like that.
Perhaps I'll be able to convince them. I promised I'd bring them help, and I've kept my word. They must let me go to him.
I hope so, but in the short while I've been here, I found the locals to be rather stubborn.
I'm at your service, Sir Knight.
I brought some help, as promised. Will you let me see the prisoner?
I will let you, I will. Of course I will. My boy, if you've really brought a potion to rid us of this scourge, I'll let you do anything.
Ah, whether I've managed to rid you of the scourge, that remains to be seen. It'll take a few days before we know whether the potion worked.
I know, but even so, just the fact that someone cares, that means a lot to us.
Don't fret about that, Melikar. A thing like that would have scared anybody. Just take care of, what is your wife's name?
Hannah.
So, take good care of her.
Now open up that shed.
Damn! What is it?
Now let's wait and see what happens.
Get lost or you'll have me to reckon with.
Tell me more about the situation here. All right, that's all I need to know.
What are you doing here? Can't you see I have a cross on the door?
Don't worry, I brought a remedy from Sasau. Drink this regularly, you and everyone in the house.
A remedy? You have hands of gold, pure gold, my boy. God bless you. Don't speak to me.
No, let me sleep.
You're back?
Yes, and I have something to make you well again.
Good Lord above. Thank you for showing us your mercy.
Drink this and give it to everyone in the house. I've also brought someone who will take care of you until you get back on your feet.
Thank you, Good Samaritan.
Brother, is that you? We have to hitch up the sled.
Yes, yes, the sled. Just you drink this and you'll be fine.
Is this holy water, brother?
It is. Drink some and give it to the others in the house too. Brother Nicodemus will come to check on you.
Well then, speak up.
I've returned from Mrhoedach, sir.
How does it look there?
I brought them help from the monastery. Brother Nicodemus and Johanka from Skalitz. Fortunately, Nicodemus was able to cure the disease. Well, at least what he's doing looks promising so far.
Thank Christ. Some good news for a change. What about the captive? Did you question him?
He was infected too.
I see. Did he survive?
No, but even dead he was of some use. It seems that bandit was a messenger. He was carrying a letter.
That's interesting. And what's in the letter?
I haven't read it yet.
Show it to me. The names of the sender and recipient aren't written there, just the initials S and T. Seems to have some quarrel between them. This S person is threatening to finish with counterfeiting. Apparently, there's some German knight on the trail of the merchant Menhart. At the time the letter was written, the knight was in the tavern in Sasau asking about him.
That sounds like a promising lead.
You go to Sasau and find out what you can about this foreign knight. If he really is following Menhart, then he must know more than we do.
Very well, sir.
Don't go yet. There's something I'd like to talk to you about. You haven't disappointed me. Nothing against Bernard, Robert, or any of those others. But none of them could find out as much as you. At least not without beatings and torture. And that doesn't always work. You're a godsend, lad.
Thank you, sir.
Now go and find out who's behind everything, and then we'll deal with them.
Yes, sir. Sir.
What is it?
Sometimes I ask myself what it all means. Why does God allow such things to happen? All this slaughter and revenge, over and over.
It's a hard question. I'm no theologian. But long ago I came to the conclusion that the only thing that makes sense is that it's all a trial. Life is one long series of problems to solve. The more you solve, the better a man you become.
I never thought about it that way.
Well, just look at the pampered ones who have no concerns in life, like young Lord Capon, for instance. I shudder to think how he will rule when his time comes. Tribulations spawn in life over and over again. We must stand our ground and face them. So, I go to Sasau and solve this one.
You can rely on me, sir.
Good luck, son.
Ну что ж, ребят, на сегодня я думаю, что хватит. Подписывайтесь на канал, ставьте лайк и до скорой встречи. Пока.